Emily, the Movie Star. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. One morning, the Fat Controller came to Tidmouth Sheds with a very important announcement. Mr. Perkins, the famous film director, is coming to Sodor to shoot a movie about locomotive traction, he boomed. The engines were excited. I've heard of Mr. Perkins' work, said Gordon proudly. He once did a film about my brother, the famous Flying Scotsman. I'm pretty sure one of us will be happy to take the part of his film, boasted James. Mr. Perkins already has an engine to work with, said the Fat Controller. Her name is Moira. You'll get to meet her later today. The Fat Controller turned and walked away. Emily was dismayed. Secretly, she had wanted to be part of Mr. Perkins' movie, but now it seemed she wouldn't get the chance. Moira was a beautiful green tender engine with a shiny golden dome. She worked on the mainland, and like Emily, she too had a large singular pair of driving wheels, which she was very proud of. Moira was to stay overnight on Sodor and start work on Mr. Perkins' movie the next day. She would then return home once it had wrapped. Moira proved to be very popular to the other engines, and she had already made a lot of friends by the time she had arrived. But even so, while Emily did get to meet Moira herself, she was still disappointed of the fact that she would not be part of Mr. Perkins' movie. Cheer up, Emily, said Thomas that evening. I'm sure you'll get your chance. I dinna think I will, replied Emily in a disappointed tone. Moira's far grander than I am. Nonsense, said Henry. You've already proven yourself to be a really useful engine. Remember when you helped me when my tubes leaked? And how you saved me and Oliver, said Thomas. I'm sure those are good qualities to be part of a film. Pure heroism. Emily perked up, but she still wasn't sure if she was movie material. But little did she know her chance would come in a rather unexpected way. The next morning, Moira and Mr. Perkins found a very peaceful spot on the island. Moira was going to introduce the audience to the world of locomotive traction. Unfortunately, when Mr. Perkins started rolling with his camera, things didn't go quite well. Moira kept stuttering. She jumped at the tiniest noise, and she often got her lines muddled up. The locomotive world can be quite dull. Oh dear, she groaned. I'm sorry, can we try again? Cut! Snapped Mr. Perkins. This just won't do, Moira. I can't have an engine who is camera shy. Moira was upset. I'm sorry, she flounced. I don't mean to be. It's just this is the first time I've ever been on camera. I know, said Mr. Perkins. It's not your fault. But I really need an engine with a singular wheel who can be part of the film. Then Moira had an idea. I saw an engine of your description earlier, she said, and she explained everything. That afternoon, Emily was waiting at the junction where she had saved Oliver and Thomas. While she was wondering how the film was getting on, Emily was surprised when Edward pulled up. From his cab stepped the Fat Controller and Mr. Perkins. Good afternoon, sirs, said Emily. Is everything all right? Emily, said Mr. Perkins, I've had a bit of trouble with Moira. While she is a very useful engine, she's just too shy for the camera. Mr. Perkins was wondering if you would like to be a part of his film, said the Fat Controller. Emily's mouth dropped. Me? Be a part of your film? She quizzed. Go on, Emily, encouraged Edward. You deserve it. I need an engine with a singular driving wheel, said Mr. Perkins. Moira has graciously requested for you. Would you do it for me?"
"I'd be honoured,"
said Emily. The Fat Controller was delighted. Edward couldn't resist giving 3 cheers in a chorus of whistles, while Emily blushed with excitement. For the rest of the day, Emily performed gracefully for Mr. Perkins and his camera. She had fetched her coaches from the yard and was soon gliding up and down the line talking about the many tractions of locomotion. Even Butch the breakdown vehicle, who observed from Dryall Station, was amazed with how well Emily performed. By the end of the afternoon, Mr. Perkins had got all the footage he needed. Even Moira was impressed with how well Emily performed, and so were the Fat Controller and his engines. "I finally got to be in a movie after all," Emily said to herself. And beaming brightly from buffer to buffer, she set off back to Tidmouth Sheds, where she wondered if she'd get a celebrity status when she got home.